I slept with one of my pastors in the 8th grade. I'm grown now. I feel like I can tell my story. Y'all my safe space anyway. But yes, Pastor Jerome, Grace of Faith Ministry, South Haven, Mississippi, circa 2012 or 2011. You know what I'm talking about. And I know you be seeing my videos because I be seeing you in my likes over there on Instagram. Oh, and First Lady Denise, I know that y'all still together. You know you dead wrong for allowing that stuff to still go on in that church house when you caught us in the bathroom that morning when he caught himself being late to the pulpit to preach and shit. And you sat there, walked in on us, and allowed that stuff to go on and pretended that he was nowhere near the church house. And whole time, I'm in there gawking him down. That's why I always say these churches, they'll either make you or break you. Because after all them sermons that he used to teach, because I used to listen, all them sermons he used to teach about loyalty and truth, baby, whole time you lying to God. You lying about who you is. But y'all want to know what's so crazy? I remember the day she did catch us. She caught us in the bathroom of the church or whatever. Mind you, this the preacher's wife. I remember it like it was yesterday. I never forget what she said when she got on that mic. I heard her through the what's the name in the bathroom. She said, if you can lie to God, you can lie to all of us. And it sounded like she was crying. No shade. And when I say when she said that, it sounded like you could hear a pin hit the floor. No shade. And little do she know, that wasn't even the first time. That shit had been going on. I'm talking outside the church, not during church. That was the only time because he was so like eager to get off his frustrations inside of his mouth. No shade.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, welcome on board. So this particular story has been making rounds on the internet right now, especially on TikTok, about this guy narrating his life ordeal, like experiencing being SA'd in 8th grade by a so-called pastor. So now he's coming out to say his truth. He's coming out to call on this pastor. And just like you've seen in the video, he said that the pastor was trying to like warn him not to like, say out the secret that had happened when he was in 8th grade, and I'm saying this to lay emphasis on the fact that it's not all pastors and it's not all churches that do subscribe or do evil things to children like this guy, right? Because a lot of people are now beginning to generalize that they don't trust going to church, they don't trust church folks, they don't do that. Don't say that. There are still good people that truly love God and they truly respect God and they truly protect children. So it's not just for all the churches out there. I'm not trying to downplay what has happened to him, but I'm trying to call people's attention to the fact that it's not all churches. With that being said, this pastor, and there are quite a number of pastors out there, they are still doing things like that. Yeah, there are still some pastors out there, they are still SAing little children. And it's quite unfortunate that at that age, you take advantage of a minor like that. It doesn't even make sense and it's evil, and something like that should be highly investigated and it should be tackled with in terms of law, right? And I'm trying to say, things like this do happen, and we are living in days that people are desperately evil and people are willing to do the evil, even in the house of God. Yeah, even in the house of God, people are willing to do evil. They don't even care that they are walking in the vineyard of God. They don't even care that they are sinning against God and against those innocent children that they are SAing. And if you're a pastor and you're doing something like that, definitely is going to catch up with you one way or the other, because it's unthinkable and it's evil to SA children. It doesn't even matter your age. Church is the last place where you go to seek refuge from the chaos of this world. But once you have people now having second thoughts about not going to church, that needs to be looked into, because a church is supposed to be a place where you run and salvage yourself from the chaos, from the madness, from the evil things that are happening in the world. Not going to the church and then you're meeting all these things. So it doesn't even make sense. And I pray the guy receives his healing. I pray God is gonna revamp him and change and the pastor needs to be tried and prosecuted, so because it's kind of crazy. So guys, what do you think about this case? Please drop your thoughts in the comment. Let's know what you think about this case, because this case is horrendous, and any person or anyone that claims to be of God and is SAing little kids needs to be done away with. So guys, drop your thoughts in the comments.
I slept with my church pastor in the 8th grade, and this is part 2. I really wasn't even gonna do this, but since your kids online, they doing the most. They over there on Instagram, calling me on Instagram. Who the fuck on Instagram? Bitch, I ain't talked to y'all hoes in over 15 years. Bitch, this is my truth. I'm telling what the fuck went on in my life. But since Jadarius play with me on this internet shit, I'm finna go ahead and get into it. Let's really wake it up. You on Instagram, you and your sister and your brother on Instagram talking about some, oh, he lying. Y'all know my daddy ain't with that shit. Oh, was it shit when he walked in on me jacking you and your brother off? Let's really gag. I was in the 8th grade. Y'all bitches in the 11th, 12th grade at the time. And every time that I would stay the night over there because your mama was practically bullying me because I was the only one on the church step team. I was the only boy on the all-girl step team at the church. My bad, y'all. I got a little mad. But continue. And she was persuading my mama to let me stay the night with y'all. But even though I was 8th grade, I was just, I was in my grown set of mind. I wasn't going back telling my mama ain't know none of that shit was going on. So for you to even be over there talking about, oh, your daddy not into that faggot shit. Bitch, he was only into the faggot shit because he seen what I was doing to y'all hoes. Every night that I would stay the night, every time I would stay the night over there, what was I doing to y'all? Jacking y'all off at the same time. You and your older brother. Bitch, don't play with me on this internet. As far as Denise and Bria, bitch, talking about some y'all knew nothing was going on. Did know everything that was going on. Bitches, you stupid. First Lady Denise, whatever you want to call yourself. When you walked in on us, you knew for a fact that wasn't the only time that shit was going on. Every time that your husband would take me home from the step practices because my mama trusted him, it was always a longer route. And what was I doing every time? We was either fucking or sucking. And what's so funny, bitch, I was sparing y'all hoes because I wasn't even looking at it like that. Oh, bitches was taking advantage of. No, I knew what I was doing. Well, I felt like I knew what I was doing. But now that I think about it, bitch, y'all hoes would wake me up out of my sleep. You, Jadarius, you and motherfucking, would wake me up out my sleep for me to come check y'all off. Don't play with me, bitch, talking about somebody trying to put ain't nobody trying to put your daddy in jail. Ain't nobody think about your daddy, bitch. I'm thinking about me and my story.
Y'all, this story right here is one of the most disturbing things I've heard in a minute. So this man comes online and says when he was in 8th grade, he was caught by the pastor's wife in the middle of doing something with her husband, the pastor of their church. Yeah, you heard that right. He says this wasn't even the first time something like that happened, just the first time they got caught inside the church. Apparently the pastor had been grooming him for a while, and that day the pastor wanted to release some anger, so they did it in the church. That's when the wife walked in, saw everything, walked right back out, and instead of saying something, she got on the mic and said, if you can lie to God, you can lie to any of us. That line stuck because it's clear she knew. The parents knew. The church elders knew. Everybody knew. And nobody said a damn thing. Like, how do you see something that sick happening and just keep quiet? And the craziest part? Stuff like this didn't stop back then. It's still happening now, just more secret, more protected, and still wrapped in religion. These kids were being sacrificed emotionally and physically for the sake of reputation and faith. It's beyond disgusting. But at least people are finally starting to speak up, calling out these predators, hiding behind pulpits, and pretending it's God's will. It's not. It's abuse, plain and simple. And it's long past time for accountability.
It's so funny that y'all don't even know what these people look like, and these people are dying hard, sending me death threats, going off on me, got all these church people writing me, going off, saying I'm going to hell, I'm lying on their pastor. Oh, come to find out it's a whole new church name because my homegirl Kiara told me. Shout out to you, Kiara, because she holding it down for me over there on Instagram. Y'all bitches is weird as hell. Let me just address this. Y'all wasn't the ones that was sleeping at these folks' house. At the end of the day, these was my friends. These was my church friends. Baby, we went to school together. My mama trusted these people. No, my mama did not know that any of that was going on. I literally just told her about this shit like 3 years ago. I'm coming to y'all because, again, y'all my safe space, and I just wanted to let y'all know what through growing up. No shade. Y'all hoes was not standing out at these people shit, having to and chat them off and have to. You lost a basketball game over a PlayStation. Was it a PlayStation? Yeah, it's like, be so fucking for real. Being woke up out in the middle of the night, supposed to be being taken home from fucking practice and having to pull over on the side of the road and you getting rammed in the ass, or you fucking, like, girl, be so fucking for real. All you old assholes that was in that church and always had something to say about me because of how flamboyant I was and me twitching and telling me to stop switching in church and stuff. All y'all hoes can eat my ass, just like Pastor Jerome was. Yes, that's when I was in 8th grade. And y'all mad about that because y'all pastor is a liar. Y'all pastor, like little boys, he probably grew out of it. And that's why that bitch ain't saying that. It's when that bitch got the nerve to say something to me, all he doing is watching my stories. That's all he doing. But as soon as that something to me, I promise you, that whole family going down, and I ain't playing, because I looked up them little statutes of limitation or whatever. Bitch, I got up to 35 years to speak on something, and bitch, I got receipts. Ho, run with it.
You know, when I see videos like this, assuming that this true, because everybody can't be lying on these pastors, I do feel the need to clear the air, because y'all done heard me say, I grew up in church. Wasn't nobody touching on me, and I wasn't touching on nobody passing. Wasn't none of that going on at my church, to my knowledge. You understand me? All the men in my church were very straight. They like women, okay? So, why are there so many fruity ass, undercover ass pastors? What other profession, dog? There has to be a study done on why so many pastors are DL. We have to look into this scientifically, and I mean it. We have to study this. The amount, and child touchers, the amount of people that have got online telling these stories is crazy. And it's crazy to me because I grew up in church, and I never heard of no shit like this happening at the church I grew up at, ever. I never heard no shit like that. And when I say I was in church 24/7. God, y'all, man, put their ass out, man. And cause the more people come out and say something about it, the more, and like he did, nigga, by name. He gave names, times, dates, witnesses, all that. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. If you gonna expose somebody, go all the way.
I just saw a video where a guy started off saying, I slept with my pastor when I was in the 8th grade. And as soon as I heard him say that line, the first thing that I thought was that, bro, you were sexually assaulted while you were in the 8th grade by your pastor. And he was telling this story as if he had an affair with the pastor, because the pastor was married at the time. So if anything, the wife is an accomplice to that crime that the pastor committed on you when you were in the 8th grade. And I guess this pastor still checks up on him regularly, because anytime he posts a story, he said the pastor's always liking his story and shit, which is weird. I've told y'all plenty of times, you have to be careful with these church people. A lot of these evil individuals go to the church and hide behind the word of God, because unfortunately they either use the church as a cover to prey on you financially, or even worse in his case, to prey on little kids, boys and girls. Be careful with these people that you go to the church to worship.
What is with pastors and little boys? It got some type of scientific explanation for this shit. I'm talking about Pastor Freak-Ass Jerome of Faith Ministries. A guy went online explaining his truth. And dog, when I tell you, he couldn't have been around these niggas without a nigga trying to crack him. Three-fourths of the family cracked this nigga. I mean, if this nigga lost that PlayStation, they wanted to do something with the little nigga. Oh yeah, if you didn't think it got any worse, the wife knew about all this shit, by the way. Not a brother trying to come out and defend the dad. That nigga was like, y'all woke me out my sleep. Y'all both wanted to hit. Like, I don't even know y'all even said something to that nigga if y'all know y'all did that shit. These niggas are more mad at the victim exposing them than the actual pastor, nigga. Y'all pastor was getting cracked behind the pews, nigga. The pews! Like, y'all pastor was gargling meat on a regular basis at the church. Y'all not mad at that nigga? But what do you expect from people who've been lied to for like 10 years? You don't got no discernment. Look at their pastor.
Drop a location, bitch.
I just did. 6010 Wood Spring Suites, Camp Springs, Maryland.
Okay.
Not all pastors are from God, and not all pastors are being called by God. A lot of people do enter into the pastoral ministry for different reasons. Some for the beneficial benefits of it, some for some sort of power, and some to just use it as an avenue to control and manipulate people. But for the largest part, the church is a place where sinners go to revamp themselves from evil. You know, and I'm saying this to say that there are a lot of good churches that you can go that do not do the crazy things. So do not generalize that all churches are doing these crazy things. There are churches that are truly called doing the work of God. They're trying their best, and that they're making sure their members are protected and are being preached the right word of God, and they are not being, you know, doing all the crazy stuff that other people that are outside the church think that is actually happening. Just like I said, not everyone is of God and is being called by God. Some people just wake up from their slumber and start claiming that they are pastors and all of those things, and then they just go open their churches and be doing all those crazy things. That shouldn't stop people from going to church. Just look for a decent, good church that you know they are preaching the word of God, they are doing the right things, and even while there, you should be careful, especially if you have minors. You should be careful how they mingle with other people. You know, I'm not saying that you should be too apprehensive while you're in church, but it won't hurt you if you're careful. And being over careful these days is not being paranoid. It's better to be safe than sorry. So find a good church, make sure your minors are in the right hands, trusted people, and you're supposed to check on them. Don't just leave them to the mercy of whoever is in the church, okay? Just you make sure you keep an eye on them, you make sure they are good, you make sure nothing funny is happening. So generalizing that all churches are beginning to look like that, don't be part of people that generalize. There are still good churches. They are preaching the word and they're doing the right thing. They are not seeing nobody, and they are preaching the word of God. So guys, thank you for stopping by. If you have come far in this video, please hit on the subscribe button. But before you do that, drop your thoughts in the comment. Let's know what you think about this trending video. Hit on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my videos. See you in the next one. Have a blessed day.